For decades, the rivalry between the United States of America, USA, and the Russian Federation, formerly the Soviet Union, has shaped the world order. From the Cold War to the modern-day conflict in Ukraine and global cyber warfare, these two superpowers have consistently been at the center of global influence. While their methods and ideologies differ, both nations remain locked in a fierce competition for dominance across military, political, economic, and technological arenas. Historical background. The origins of the U.S.-Russia rivalry trace back to the Cold War, 1947 to 1991, a period of intense geopolitical tension between the U.S. and the Soviet Union. It was marked by nuclear arms races, proxy wars e.g. Vietnam, Afghanistan, the space race, and the ideological struggle between capitalism and communism. The collapse of the USSR in 1991 shifted global power heavily in favor of the US, but Russia never vanished from the scene. Under President Vladimir Putin, Russia has reasserted itself as a key global player, seeking to challenge Western influence. This resurgence has triggered a modern-era standoff between Moscow and Washington, albeit with new dimensions: hybrid warfare, cyber attacks, energy dominance, and global alliances. Military power, hard power comparison. United States military might. Defense budget, $877 billion 2024, the world's largest. Global presence, 750-plus military bases in 80-plus countries. Nuclear arsenal, approximate 5,200 warheads. Technology, advanced fighter jets, F-22, F-35. Stealth bombers, precision drones, and cyber warfare units. Alliances, strong NATO leadership, Quad AUKUS. Russian military strength. Defense budget, estimated $100 billion 2024, though exact numbers vary. Global reach, strategic bases in Syria, Central Asia, and the Arctic. Nuclear arsenal, approximate 5,890 warheads, slightly more than the US. Tactics, heavy reliance on hybrid warfare, misinformation campaigns, and Wagner Group-style paramilitary forces. Key strategies: disruption of NATO unity, regional dominance, Ukraine, Belarus, Caucasus. Verdict: the US leads in technology, global logistics, and alliances. Russia compensates with nuclear parity, regional hard power, and unconventional warfare. Economic comparison. USA. GDP, 2024 over $27 trillion, world's largest. Economic strengths: technology, finance, energy independence, innovation, Silicon Valley, Wall Street. Trade networks: strong ties with EU, Asia Pacific, and Latin America. Russia. GDP 2024 approximate $1.9 trillion. Economic strengths: major global exporter of oil, natural gas, arms, and wheat. Challenges: heavy sanctions from the West, lack of industrial diversification, dependence on China and India for exports. Economic sanctions impact: after Russia's invasion of Ukraine in 2022, Western sanctions targeted its banking, energy, and technology sectors. While Russia adapted via alternative markets and currency swaps, e.g. with China, its long-term growth is heavily constrained. Verdict: the U.S. economy is more diversified, resilient, and globally integrated. Russia's economy is resource-heavy but strategically important due to energy exports and critical raw materials. Geopolitical influence. United States. Leadership role: policeman of the world, defender of liberal democracy. Alliances: NATO, G7, G20, UN Security Council, permanent member. Influence zones: North America, Europe, Pacific, Middle East. Russia. Regional hegemony: dominance in Eastern Europe, Central Asia, Arctic ambitions. Geopolitical moves: annexation of Crimea, 2014, involvement in Syria, Libya, and influence in African politics via Wagner and state-backed deals. Alliance building: strategic partnership with China, BRICS, and Iran. Current flashpoints: Ukraine war, a battleground for Western democracy versus Russian imperialism. NATO expansion, seen by Russia as a threat, viewed by the West as a deterrence mechanism. Arctic race, both countries competing for control over untapped natural resources. Technology and cyber warfare. United States. Tech giants: Google, Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, OpenAI. Military tech integration: advanced AI, drone warfare, quantum computing R&D. Cyber defense: U.S. Cyber Command, NSA. Russia. Cyber capabilities: State-sponsored hacking groups e.g. APT-28 Cozy Bear. Targets: elections interference US 2016-2020, attacks on infrastructure, ransomware groups. Media influence: RT Sputnik troll farms spreading disinformation on social media. AI arms race: both nations are investing heavily in AI for defense and surveillance. The US leads in R&D and innovation, while Russia leverages AI for propaganda and asymmetric warfare. Ideological conflict: democracy versus authoritarianism. USA promotes democratic governance, free press, open internet, and global liberal values. Russia advocates for multipolarity, state sovereignty, and often supports authoritarian regimes as a counterbalance to Western influence. This ideological battle extends into Africa, Latin America, and Asia, where both nations compete for influence via aid, arms deals, and media outreach. The China factor: China's rise complicates the U.S.-Russia rivalry. While the US views China as its top strategic competitor, Russia sees Beijing as a crucial economic partner. The growing China-Russia alignment creates a multipolar challenge to American global dominance, though it's built more on convenience than trust. Conclusion: the U.S.-Russia power struggle is no longer just a Cold War-style standoff. It's a complex, evolving battle playing out across many fronts: kinetic warfare, cyber-espionage, energy politics, ideology, and even space. While the US maintains clear advantages in military technology, economic strength, and global alliances, Russia remains a formidable player due to its nuclear arsenal, energy leverage, and willingness to use force unpredictably. The world today doesn't face a unipolar or bipolar reality. It faces a turbulent era where the clash between the USA and Russia shapes not just borders, but the very principles of global governance.